Alright, so we'll do the Headhunter guide. So we'll go through talents, gear, macros, tips and tricks, that kind of stuff. Let's see. This way, yeah. Let's start with talents. So first, obviously you gotta take Berserker Axe. Uh, this one, it's gonna be your main damage ability is Berserker Axe. You throw 3 axes. As soon as you throw a spear, which is why we're going to take this last talent, which is Senjin's Guidance, which actually turns your throw weapon into a javelin toss, and it counts as a spear. So all the other talents that apply to spears now apply to this one, even resetting your Berserker Axes, which is a big deal. Some people take Payback instead, because it does pretty good damage, like overall. But if you're rotating your spears in there, you're going to do more damage because you're going to reset Berserker Axes, and the spear itself does pretty good, and it works with axe throwing. So if you do like, if you turn on axe throwing, which I have a little macro for here, you're going to see it'll hit 3 people, which is nice too if you're doing 2s or BGs or anything like that. Gut Spiller, you got to keep that up all the time. It's going to ignore 20% of the enemy's armor. Bleed effects are going to increase your agility by 10%. Damage is up, and it also applies break every time you crit, as long as Gut Spiller's on it. So that's another 20% armor penetration. So 40% armor pen if you keep Gut Spiller up. So you want to start with that always. Barb Spear is going to be your main damage spear. This talent you just need to get to axe twirling. I do that just if you're doing 2s or BGs or anything like that, hitting 3 people at a time is a huge DPS increase. Headhunting, less time for throw weapon or javelin toss, and it gives you no pushback on it. Critical strikes with spears now cause enemy to bleeds, which also works for javelin toss and the barb spear and all the other spears. This one, critical strikes chance for spears and axe. So this plus these, 15% crit chance. Spears has a chance to throw an additional spear that does 40% damage, 25%. So again, applies to that. That's why you take all these. Berserker Rush, that's going to be your oh shit button to get out of there. This right here, 3% crit for everybody. It just kind of makes sense. You could swap that one out if you wanted to, but 3% crit's pretty nice. This one, Unbridled Rage is active. Your attacks now ignore 20% of the target's armor. Now you're up to 60% armor pen, right? That's huge. No survivors. You could take this one to increase the time on the maiming spear and barb spear, and you could rotate between the two. So now I have 15 seconds slow, and then the next spear I throw in 6 seconds gives 30% healing reduction. So you could rotate between those two. It's not necessary. You could take this one to get 30 energy when you cast Unbridled Rage if you want to, but you're kind of limited on really what else is worthwhile. Critical strike chance above health, 80%. Brutal Form is probably your most important ability on here, believe it or not. Increase the tick rate of Born in Blood by 25% and allows us to scale with agility. Really, your biggest advantages as Headhunter is mobility, which got nerfed a little bit recently, and your healing. And this is huge for your healing. You're going to get, it's the difference between like 1400 health and usually like 23 or 2400 health every time I cast Unbridled Rage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 8. Keep going. That was a lot. Yeah, ton of healing. It would be like half that if you didn't have this talent. So this is how you keep yourself alive. You could swap, like I said, Senjin's Guidance for Payback. I just don't. If you're doing the rotation right, I've tested it many times. Senjin's Guidance is just better. On the regular Barbarian talents, obviously you're going to take this first 3 row, Maiming Spear, your Interrupt, it's got its melee range, and your heal. You want to spam on cooldown. I got it to 20 seconds with the talent. Critical Strike 2%. Unbridled Rage lasts 2% longer. This triggers our heal. It allows us to throw the axes or do smash if we're close range. I can keep this up pretty much 24/7 as long as I'm doing my full rotation. With some of the other talents. Unbridled Rage is our big thing. It starts our heal, our Born in Blood. It bumps our damage 10%, and it triggers a bunch of other stuff like 20% armor pen and everything else. So I basically keep it up 24/7. Warband, just another heal. You can pop. It's for your whole group. it stacks too, so your Born in Blood stacks up to 2 times, so it takes a second to get going, but this is a good heal. You can cast it once every minute too, and it just pumping it out, right? That's going to be a huge part of your health pool. This one will reduce the cooldown of your spammable heal that you get every 20 seconds, and this one down from a minute 30 to a minute. This one, really, we just need to take Thick Skull. This one will give you up to 20% dodge when you're getting attacked from the front. Savage Cadence, increase the duration of Bridled Rage by basically another 5 seconds as long as you're getting crits, which you're going to do. Because you're going to have crits from the bleeds, crits from, you're going to throw 6 axes basically every few seconds. You'll get plenty of crits. I increased the duration of Onslaught on this one because I just want it to last longer. I don't need the energy faster like the other talent. And then basically you're going down here to Weakauras. First Blood, Battle Rhythm crits now give you energy. This one's just a nice talent to have. Skull Smash is a disorient in case you need to get away or stop somebody. Whirling Advance is your big mobility, so you really need that. Headhunter Spears required to get down here. I take this one, Physical Damage dealt 5% and Energy Regen 5%. And then this one's Unbridled Rage gets you Born in Blood, which is our heal. If you don't take that, you're not going to get this heal every time you hit that. I'm going to be hitting this like every 15 seconds probably, if not sooner. If I'm doing my rotation right, I can reduce the cooldown of that a lot because of this. This is an extra 10% agility. I just don't have anything I could really give up for it. I ran the numbers. Every other talent is so useful, or at least needed to get to something really useful. So you could get rid of this and take some agility, or this one, but I think these are just worth more than 5% agility. That's the talents. As far as the gear goes, I tried the Cutthroat stuff. I tried the Barbarian stuff. Centurion's is just better. It really is by a pretty decent margin. You're going to get the Prowess amulets and rings, Centurion stuff. Glorious Leather Girdle is the new stuff from the new vendor. Combatant's Cloak is the new, Combatants is the new version. The Glorious Shuriken's an easy winner. I tried the Dynamite. You can get the Scroll of Battle or the Bauble, and then you're going to get the Insignia. I take the 2 Arloc's Grasps because the proc gives you 300 attack power for 12 seconds, and it procs off ranged hits. You don't have to do any melee stuff. So I'm constantly in giant tiger form with 300 extra attack power, which is really worth more than Centurion stuff, I think. It's up like 20 to 25% of the time, I would say, when I check the details on how long I have the buff. So I think it's worth it. You could do the Centurion stuff if you wanted to instead, or any of the other honor or arena point weapons. It's fine. Macros, nothing really. Just Onslaught. I put Blood Fury in there, which helps. And this one, and my Glorious Scroll. Really, the Weakauras help me out a lot, though. I have a Weakaura. So whenever I just made these really quickly. They're not hard to make. I'll try to see if I can link them in the description. But basically, I have one that lets me know when axe twirling's on, because you do less damage with axe twirling on. Where's it at? Here. You do 15% less damage, but you're going to hit 2 extra targets with with most of your damaging abilities. Besides these spears over here, with this, and this, your primary damage stuff, you're going to hit 3 people, which is good if you're running 2s or 3s or BGs or whatever else. But it lets me know that it's on, so I don't forget. And then my 3 enrage abilities I have right here. So I always know when I have enrage, so I can kind of time my spears and my axes and everything together. But that's that. Oh, and I have this one for Ancestral Roar, so I know when it's up, so I always hit it on cooldown. Then it goes away. I know I got this up. Yeah, for your rotation, you are basically going to... You always start with Unbridled Rage. It's on cooldown for a second, so we'll wait a second. But you'll start with Unbridled Rage, then you're going to do Gut Spiller, so you get an extra 10% damage. Immediately spam your 3 Berserker Axes, then you hit one of your spears. sometimes I start with Headhunters because you get an energy bump right off the rip. If you pop Onslaught and everything too, then you could start with Barbed, and you'll have enough for your rotation. But so Unbridled, Gut Spiller, Axe, one of the spears if you need to slow them, damage, or energy back. And then you cast your Javelin Toss, which is going to reset your axes again. Spam. Then another spear, axes, spam. Then Javelin Toss, spam. And just refresh Gut Spiller up as you're doing it. So it's really just these three abilities plus one of the spears, and then refreshing Unbridled Rage every time you get a sec. So when you start, screw this up, but see, axe throwing on, I would have forgot about that and nerf the damage. And then Carnage is really just extra energy if you need it. Onslaught's really extra energy, but it also gives, I also got it triggered to set off these two damage abilities too, so I'll just pop them both at the same time. But you might want to save Battle Vigor's basically 40% extra health really quickly, which will save your life. But if you need it for Enrage, this, and this are your Enrage abilities to make sure you can throw your axes, which is going to be like half your damage. If you can't throw your axes, you're going to be sitting duck kind of, so you're always trying to keep it up. But Unbridled Rage refreshes so often, I don't have to worry about these two that much anymore the way the talents are set up. So let's start it. So Unbridled Rage, Gut Spiller, Axe, that one, Axe, Javelin Toss, resets again. Now another spear, resets again. Unbridled Rage has already been up for a few seconds. Throw another Javelin Toss. And I forgot to do Gut Spiller because I'm an idiot. But yeah, so you just keep spamming that. After every like 4 sets of axes, you'll basically be doing Gut Spiller again. Right here I need to do Gut Spiller. Then axes. Always do the spears before the javelin. Yeah, as long as you're doing the rotation right, and not screwing up the Gut Spiller like I keep doing, everything will keep resetting on time, and you'll have constant Unbridled Rage, which means heals back to back. You can just kind of spam it. You're going to get so much Born in Blood every time you do it. Which I keep forgetting the axes. But you get the gist. If I would have done my rotation right, it'd probably be like 4K or something, but yeah, that's the rotation. So we'll show you some duels and BGs or whatever I end up putting on here.